I think we're live. I think we're good. Okay, I think yeah, this new Facebook live setup that Facebook has is so confusing. So I don't really even know what's up. But if you guys are watching us on the live and you have joined us on Facebook Live now, go ahead and hit hello or say hi and then tell us obviously where you're from. Um, it's just kind of weird. I don't know why Facebook change. There's always changes. It's always changing things. But anyway, I'm here with Shanaida, right? That's how I say your name? Yeah,
Yeah,
very good. And Shanaida, where are you from again?
I'm from Myanmar,
Myanmar. Very
Burma.
cool. And Myanmar is right next to, I think it's Thailand, right?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Nice, very cool. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And I think it was actually this last Monday was actually your first time joining us, right?
Yes, yeah.
Nice. I love it. I love it when our new people who join us for the first time on our Monday speaking practice, they win when the new people win a class. It just I don't know. I just think it's really cool. But yeah, anyway, so you wanted to practice. So we had a little bit of trouble with deciding what to study. Yeah?
Yes, of course. Because I have no idea what to do.
That's okay. It's all right.
Hello.
Yeah, it's no problem. This free live class that we have here is for me to go over anything with you that you need help with, you know? So I know in the past we've done like different grammar topics, like different types of verbs. I know we've done so many I can't remember. Transition words. We've done different aspects of grammar. Uh, what else did we do? I don't know. We did a few other things, and so yeah. So for this live class, the whole point of this live class is for me to help you and whoever wins the class, um, you know, get better at whatever you need to get better at. Yeah. So, but we did end up deciding on doing some reading comprehension. Yeah. So,
Yes.
can you tell me what is your trouble with reading comprehension?
Because sometimes I don't fully understand what the sentence means. Or um maybe questions like read the passage. They give you a passage and like and in the questions like they told me to um which sentence is the best title or like that kind of like that and which describes the passage like that. So I'm not good at
Yeah.
I'm not good at doing like that. So
Okay. Yeah, and honestly, that's basically reading comprehension, right? So to start off, I do see people in the chat, so I'm glad that people can see us in the chat. We've got Omar, Marwa, Omar from Egypt, very cool. Sadwan, my friend, of course, always watching, always commenting. I love it. Thank you. Taklo, I don't know if I said that right. Welcome everyone. And Karu, all she said was,
that's very cool.
yeah.
It's my first time like that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
OMG.
Very cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching us on the Facebook Live. Um, More than likely, you already know me. I'm Teacher Isabel. I am Mexican American. People always ask me, where are you from? So I was born in California, um, but my family is all Mexican. So I'm American by nationality, by birth, but I'm also Mexican because of my family, right? Because Mexican by heritage. But I do also have dual citizenship, so I am now officially Mexican and American by nationality. um, and where was I going to? Oh, so I do also speak English and Spanish. I'm fluent in both languages. What else do people normally
Awesome.
ask me? Yeah, some people ask me like the same questions a lot, and it's because they don't know me. So as long as you ask me, I will answer it. No big deal. Dulanjali, hello. Alrighty, so Shanaida, when it comes to reading comprehension, and we're going to go over a few key tips that I usually teach my students in my private classes. Um, it's with reading comprehension and with reading, I think a lot of people kind of get stuck on, oh, I don't know what this word means, or I don't know what this sentence means, right? And so it depends on the question, and obviously it depends on the situation. So, like, why are you reading this article? Is it for a test at school? Is it for, maybe you have to read for your job or something, right? But in general, generally speaking, so if you don't have a specific situation where you have to understand every single word, then you just kind of have to understand the overall reading passage. So that's what I want to focus on today, because I feel like a lot of people, that's really what they need. It's just to focus on the general passage. So with reading comprehension questions, usually, um, if you've gone to school and you've answered questions based on a reading, then most likely you already know. There's usually questions of vocabulary. So, what did the author mean when he used this word? Or what does this word mean in this paragraph? So vocabulary type questions. There's also usually what we call gist questions. These questions are the type that ask you about the general understanding of the paragraph or the whole passage. So those are gist questions. Then there's a few different types of questions. What was the other one? Just questions. Oh, and then there's like I forgot the name of it. Inference. That's what they're called. Inference questions. So with inference questions, you have to infer, or you kind of have to guess what the answer is. But with inference questions, it's more of based on your understanding of this paragraph, what can you guess, right? So other than vocabulary, the gist questions, the inference questions, and a few other type of questions, really what we just need is understanding of the passage. Yeah, it's never going to be really, unless, like I said, unless it's vocabulary questions, they're never going to be like you have to know every single word. So with that, have you heard of skimming? Do you know what skimming is?
Oh yeah, Skimming.
Yeah, can you explain?
Going through the whole passage.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit different than reading, and this is where I feel like this might be a little bit more like intermediate level English, right? Um, Skimming is different than reading, even though with skimming you are reading very fast. So it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit just tricky to define, right? To put a definition onto it. But skimming, if you look it up anywhere, skimming just means that you are looking for the main ideas. Yeah, you're just looking to understand the main ideas of the reading passage. Um, Typically, in a reading passage, say it's a story, uh, your introduction, so your very first paragraph, is going to be your introduction to the whole passage. So you typically in that paragraph, you'll have like what is the story going to be about? Uh, you're gonna have the reasons for why water is better than coffee. That's it's gonna be kind of like that, right? There's not gonna be much detail in the first paragraph. But then what you notice, and the conclusion, actually, it's the same. The conclusion is just a summary. It's basically the same as the introduction, but it's a summary. It's like saying, hey, these were the reasons up here of why water is better than coffee, right? That's kind of what that is. But the body paragraph, so you have introduction, you've got conclusion, the body paragraphs here, so whether it's 1, 2, 3, however many body paragraphs, normally the first sentence of each body paragraph is supposed to be the introduction to that paragraph, right? And so if you know about writing, this is basically the same way that reading works. If you kind of like put your mind in on the other perspective, if you read just the first sentence of each body paragraph, that should tell you, oh, this paragraph is going to be about Reason number one why water is better than coffee. Second body paragraph. Reason number two why water is better than coffee. Yeah? So when we are skimming, we're looking at pretty much reading fast, the introduction, and then mainly the first sentences of each body paragraph, and then reading the conclusion very fast as well. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alrighty, so here's what I want to do because I want to practice this. So many tabs open. I have so much stuff open. Here we go. Alrighty, so Shanaida, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Very good. And everyone else, really quick side note, Shanaida, I'm sorry. For everyone watching us on the live, I have to say this to you guys. How come nobody told me last week that my screen wasn't sharing? When I uploaded the video afterwards, I was like, why is it only me on the screen? How come nobody can see my screen? How come nobody can see my student who was on last week? I was like, no, why? So if you're watching me on the Facebook Live, you're watching us right now, I'm gonna call you out. Karu, Dulanjali, Omar, Munsif, Sarwar, please, can you see my screen? Yes, tick, 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 or no, tick, 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 tick. Let me know in the chat, please. Because if you cannot see my screen, I'm gonna have to like stop the live and start it again or do something. So I want you to see my screen. The point of this Facebook Live is for people watching us on the Facebook Live to have, to be able to also see the class, right? Not just see me talking. Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, I see people saying yes. Thank you so much. Fatma, hello. I haven't seen you around in a while. Hello. Very good. Okay, everyone can see my screen. Good. Alrighty, so Shanaida, so talking about skimming, yeah? I have this passage here. This is a very intermediate level reading passage. So with skimming, so obviously the title, From Carrots to Renovations, How I Spent $10,000 Without Really Trying. Yeah, that's the title of this passage. So with skimming, I'm just going to have, this is obviously the introduction, it's the first paragraph, and then we have the the first body paragraph. So this is, honestly, just looking at the title, we know that it's going to be a story. Yeah, it's not a why reading is better than watching movies kind of writing, right? It's just a story. So in just skimming, okay, if we were to just read quickly the first introduction, what are the main ideas that you can pull from just the introduction, Shanada? What are some like main keywords that you see and that give you some general understanding of what this passage is going to be about?
Carrots.
Carrots, exactly, right? Very good. Yeah, I see carrots here. Numbers are always super easy to see, right? So there's going to be something about carrots, something $10,000. I see the word cost, so maybe the carrots cost $10,000. Yeah, I see last summer. So we have some sort of time reference. Yeah, very good. And then obviously new kitchen at the end here. So something's gonna happen, right? So we know something is gonna happen with this. So now if we read only the first sentence of the next the first body paragraph, it says, I have a vegetable garden and every summer I enjoy eating my own vegetables. Yeah? Fatma says, can anyone read it out loud? She missed our sessions. Yeah, you're welcome to come back anytime, Fatma. Very good. I will try to read out loud, or if I don't read, Shanaida will read. That way everyone can hear it as well. But yeah, so Shanaida, the first sentence. What do you think this body paragraph is going to be about, just reading the first sentence?
It's about someone is going to sell and buy carrots.
Oh, okay, maybe, yeah. So she says she has a vegetable garden, right? She enjoys eating her own vegetables. And I think it's a she. I don't know. We don't really know if it's a she or a he. I just say she. I'm sorry. I think it's because I know that it's a she because I've already read this, but it's okay. So she has her own vegetable garden. She has a vegetable garden and she enjoys eating her own vegetables. So I'm thinking this whole paragraph here, this whole first body paragraph, is going to be maybe about like her going out to her garden, like in her backyard, maybe, and she likes to eat. Maybe she's gonna talk to us about how she cooks her own vegetables, right? Like what is her process, right? Something like that. What about the next body paragraph? The first sentence says this. The next day, when I was washing dishes, I noticed that the water drained out of the sink much more slowly than usual. So, what do you think
There
this
might
body
be
paragraph?
some troubles with her sink.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, she's in her kitchen washing the dishes, and then she notices that the dish gets full of water, and then the water goes down very slowly. Yeah, so exactly like Shanida's saying, maybe there's some trouble. Yeah. Let's do one more paragraph here. The first sentence of the next body paragraph, soon the water did not drain at all.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
she might have problems.
exactly, right? There's definitely a problem now. Yeah? Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. We've got a vegetable garden. We've got the water drained slowly, and then all of a sudden the water did not drain at all. Yeah? So just looking at these first three sentences, what do you start to think that this whole reading passage is going to be about, Shanaida?
About cooking some menu with carrots,
Okay.
and like she's washing the carrots in the sink, and by the time she was washing some carrots, like there was a sudden problem with her sink,
Okay.
and
Very good.
she might probably mend it by herself, or she will call someone else for help. Yeah, maybe like that.
There you go. Very good. Yeah, so this is where skimming comes into practice, right? You just read the first sentence of the body paragraphs, you read the introduction and the conclusion very quickly, and you're just starting. Skimming is just an understanding of the general passage, right? We could continue going, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm saying just so that you understand the process of this, um, yeah, so just reading what we read, it's kind of like, all right, I'm thinking there's going to be some sort of carrots. We do also have the title from carrots to renovation. So let's say, for example, we don't know what renovations means. That's okay. I spent $10,000 without really trying. How do you spend $10,000 without trying, like without wanting to spend that much money, right? So it's kind of like skimming just starts to help you understand what the story is about. Now, do you know what scanning is when it comes to reading? Shanaida, do you know what scanning is?
Yes.
All right, what is scanning when it comes to reading?
Just quick going through all over. No, only the first sentence of the paragraph.
Yeah, so that one is skimming. Yeah, and they're very very similar. Reading, skimming, scanning. Yeah. And I honestly I get these confused all the time as well, and that's okay. So reading obviously is you read everything, you read all the letters, all the words, right? You read everything. Skimming is what we just did, only the first sentence of the body paragraphs and the introduction and the conclusion. But scanning is when you are looking for information. So it's kind of what you said, where you are reading very fast, but it's with a purpose. Like your goal is to find a specific piece of information. Typically, when we scan, I'll just do like this so you can. So the way that I learned how to scan is, can you see my line on the page, Shanaida?
Yes.
Very good. So when we're scanning, we don't go from, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I want to draw here. So when we're scanning, we don't go from the very beginning here of the sentence all the way to the end of the sentence here. We are only going from here to here. And this is just a very, very quick movement of our eyes. So if you see my eyes, instead of having the page like this, right? Instead of me going reading from the front, like the beginning of the page to the end of the page, I'm going here. So my eyes are just going like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So usually,
Yes.
so my teachers when I was in school, they told me we go about an inch in, from the end and
Yeah.
from the beginning of the page. An inch is obviously in the U.S. standards. I would say I think in the rest of the world, because not the whole world uses inches. I would say, I mean, there's no like right or wrong. You have to do this many centimeters. The main goal of scanning is to look for information. That's really all it is. So even if you let your eyes go all the way from the beginning to the end of the page, that's okay, as long as you are just looking for the information. And we're going to do a little bit of practice so that you can actually practice scanning. But does this make a little bit of sense?
Yes. Of
Okay.
course.
All right, very good. If you have any questions, just stop me, okay? And we can just ask me. Yeah? And then everyone watching us on the live, of course, you can always just ask your questions. Tick, 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 tick. If you type like this, you can ask your questions. If you type like this, ask your questions. That's fine. But that's scanning, and we're going to practice scanning. But before we do, I want to go over finding keywords. And honestly, keywords are, I'm going to say I kind of don't want to say it's the best, but I feel like it's the easiest, maybe, or the best. See, I don't want to say best, but it is the best. I don't know. um, we'll just do it. We'll just do it. So, with keywords, with finding keywords, what we do, and this is actually something I teach in my TOEFL classes. So, if ever, not just you, Shanaida, but for those of you watching us on the Facebook Live, this is actually a good tip if you're planning on taking the TOEFL as well. Finding keywords in the question and the answers, and then going to look for those keywords in the reading saves you so much time. So you don't even have to read the whole passage. And the reason I say this is a good tip for the TOEFL exam, and this honestly might be good for IELTS as well, and for Cambridge, the Cambridge test. I just know for sure TOEFL because I was teaching it in my TOEFL class. But the reason this works really well is because you don't waste time reading the whole passage and then, oh, I understand it. Oh, wait, what does this mean? What is that? And, oh, okay, yeah, I get this part and I get that part. And then go to the questions and then you forgot everything you just read. It's better. And this is why I say it's better, because you go to the question first. Don't even worry about the reading. You can do a little bit of skimming like we just practiced, where you maybe just read the introduction, the first sentences of each paragraph, and the conclusion, and that's it. And then you go to the questions. So you don't read the whole thing. But then you go to the questions and you find the keywords of the question and of the different answer choices. So just the keywords. And then what you do is you scan the reading for these specific keywords that you found. Does that make a little bit of sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to actually practice this, right? So our first question says, I'm changing the color. So question number 1 says, and obviously we have not read the reading, and that's, like I said, that's the goal of this skill practice, yeah? So the question number 1 says, how did a kilogram of carrots cost $10,000? Click on the button beside the best answer. So with keywords, you're literally only looking for the main words of the question. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if we have the question, how did a kilogram of carrots cost $10,000? What would you say are some keywords? And there's no right or wrong answer. This is just this is up to everyone, right? So for you, Shanaida, what would be some keywords in this reading? Or in this question, sorry. What would you say are the main words of the question?
How did?
How? Yeah, very good. I would say just how. Do we really need did? Not really, right? So how, what?
Yeah.
How, what? We need a what in here.
How? Yeah, carrots cost $10,000.
Yeah, what about kilogram though? Do we need to know how many carrots?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so maybe kilogram of carrots. Yeah, so that we know how much of what. And then I think you said $10,000. Yeah, so this is where I'm saying, so this is where these are our keywords of the question, right? So how, so the actual question is how. It's not a what or why, yeah? So we need to know how kilogram of carrots, $10,000. Cost $10,000. We can even throw cost in there, yeah? A lot of times these smaller words are not really important as keywords. Yeah, obviously they're important in grammar and to make the sentence correct, but that's not what we're practicing right now. We just want to find the keywords. So then we find the keywords of the question, but then we also find keywords in the answers. So answer A says, the kitchen needed a more modern look. So now what do you think would be the keywords of answer A?
A modern look.
Modern look, nice. Would you add any others as keywords?
The kitchen.
Yeah, maybe kitchen. I think that might be good. Yeah, so kitchen, modern look. I think that's good. What about in B? What are some keywords in B? The dirt from the carrots blocked the drain, which led to other problems.
The dirt from the carrots.
Okay, dirt from the carrots.
Block the drain.
Okay.
Led to other problems.
Nice, nice. And it seems like we're underlining pretty much the whole sentence, but that's okay. This is just forcing our brain to focus on specific words, right? What about in C? What are the keywords in C?
Carrots expensive.
Yeah, carrots expensive. Very good. And in D? The carrots caused water to spill everywhere.
Caused water to spill.
Nice. Very good. Yeah. So a couple other tips here, right? We know that this whole passage is going to be about carrots because it's in the title. We know that the whole thing is going to be about $10,000 because it's in the title, right? So when it comes to choosing our keywords, we don't carrots, carrots, carrots. You see it? So it's not like, oh, the one of these has to be the answer. That's not it at all. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a keyword. Yeah, because we already know that the whole passage is going to be about carrots. But this is just practice. So now, we've got our question, no, we've got our keywords from the question, and then we've got our keywords in the answers. So now what we do is we practice scanning for these specific keywords, yeah? So remember, scanning in reading is looking for specific information. So this, for some of my students have found it kind of difficult to do, and some of my students are like, yeah, I got it, this is easy, right? So it's not like it's something super easy or something super difficult. It just takes practice. So we're starting obviously from the top of the passage. We're looking for how kilogram of carrots cost $10,000. Yeah. Now typically, there are some exceptions, of course, but normally when we find, for example, like if we're looking for A, if we find kitchen and modern look in the same sentence of the reading, then most likely the answer is going to be in that sentence. Does that make sense? It's not like we're going to find kitchen up here and modern look down here in different sentences. Yeah, most likely it'll be in the same sentence. Now, it could happen that it's in like one sentence and then the next sentence. Yeah, it could be one sentence difference. But most of the time it is in the same sentence. So, go ahead, Shanaida, let's just practice scanning. So we're looking again just for all of these keywords. How, kilogram of carrots, cost $10,000, kitchen, modern look, dirt, block the drain, other problems, expensive, water to spill. Yeah, so these are our main keywords that we're looking for. So if we start scanning, yeah, so just looking for these words. We're not actually reading the passage. And I'll do it with my mouse. So if you can see my mouse on the screen, this is kind of I'll try to show what my eyes are doing in order to look for these words. So, kilogram of carrots, found that. Cost $10,000. I found carrots again, cost again. Kitchen. Well, there's carrots again. New kitchen, I think that was one of them. Something like that. What was kitchen in there? So, literally, that took me, 3 seconds, maybe? I didn't read the whole thing. I just looked for the keywords, right? So just in this first paragraph, these are the keywords that I found. So the keywords that are over here, they're underlined, right? Now, just based on my scanning, I don't feel like I found the answer. We've got kilogram of carrots costs $10,000 in one sentence. That doesn't actually answer me how. Yeah? My carrots cost me that much last year. Doesn't actually answer the question. I've got kitchen here, so I read this sentence. Last summer, I had to completely renovate my kitchen, and it was all because of a bunch of carrots. Doesn't actually answer the question. I've got kitchen over here again, so I read the sentence. The story begins with my picking 12 carrots from my vegetable garden and ends with my getting a new kitchen. Again, doesn't actually answer the question, so then we just move on. And that's no problem. So again, we're just underlining the keywords and we're looking for the keywords. So just a refresher, we've got how, kilogram of carrots, $10,000, kitchen, modern look, the dirt, blocked drain, problems, expensive, water, spill, maybe. Yeah? Okay. Let me actually... Oh, okay. I should have thought about this, before I started annotating. This is interesting. All right, let me erase these. There we go. All right, so with this next paragraph, I'm gonna do the same thing. So, vegetable, dozen carrots was one of them? I don't remember. Dozen carrots, clean dirt. I found dirt. I think I found water. Water again. That's getting on there. Oh, water again. Oh, spilled. Quick kitchen again, I believe. A large amount of dirt. Dirt again. Sink again. Down the drain, down here. Yeah. Are there any other keywords that I missed that you see, Shanaida?
Maybe before the last line. And watch all the dirt wash away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Very good. Nice. Alrighty, so exactly this. Exactly. So literally what you saw me do with my mouse, just going back and forth, that's exactly what my eyes are doing, right? I'm not actually reading the sentences. I'm just looking for the keywords. So we've got, this is where annotating on the screen. See how my lines and my drawings stay in the same place? That's okay. It was fine. Um, okay, so just refreshing, right? Just remembering that our question is, how did the carrots cost $10,000? We've got here. So now we just kind of go back in and read the sentences where we found the keywords. Yeah? I have a vegetable garden, and every summer I enjoy eating my own vegetables. That doesn't tell me how the carrots cost $10,000. We've got dirt here. So usually as soon as I have picked the carrots, I clean the dirt off them by rinsing them in a bucket of water. Okay, still doesn't actually tell me how. I keep a full bucket of water beside the garden just for this purpose. Okay, I mean, we're just kind of starting to read the actual passage, right? But there's no actual answer here. Here, the water spilled out of the bucket and went all over my feet. Oh, okay, so she probably hit the bucket. She probably kicked the bucket. Yeah, probably an accident. But still doesn't tell us what happened. Kitchen down here. The carrots were part of dinner, so I decided to wash the carrots quickly in the kitchen sink. Ah, okay. So this sentence doesn't actually answer the question, but it kind of starts to. Yeah? Because remember when we were skimming earlier, when we were reading the first sentence of each paragraph, we learned that there's going to be problems, right? So if she normally cleans the carrots in a bucket of water outside, now, and she washes them, like if she now washes them inside in the sink, what do you think is going to happen to all of that dirt from the carrots? Where is that all going to go? Yeah, so it's all just going to go down the drain. Yeah, and exactly, yeah. The carrots were part of dinner. It's a kitchen sink. The carrots were covered in a large amount of dirt from the garden. Ah, so we're starting to understand. Oh, so I remember from skimming earlier, we learned that there's going to be problems. Yeah. And then I think the first sentence that we read, I think of the second or the third body paragraph, the water starts to drain slowly, right? So if the carrots are covered in a large amount of dirt from the garden, what do you think? What kind? So now we're starting to make inferences. We're starting to make guesses. So Shanaida, if the carrots have a lot of dirt and she washes the carrots in the sink and we know that the water drains slowly, what do you think happened?
It was stuck.
Yeah, right? Exactly. The dirt from the carrots is going to get stuck down in the sink pipes somewhere, right? Exactly. But still, we're not answering the question. So that's okay. But now we're starting to understand the whole passage without reading the whole thing. Here, I put the carrots in the sink, rinsed them with water, and watched all the dirt wash away down the drain. Still doesn't answer our question. Yeah? Or do you think based on this you could answer the question?
Yeah. No, not sure.
Not sure? That's okay. Like I said, that's okay. We're just practicing another skill, okay? So let me erase this part. And let's just go on down to the next paragraph. So you remember our keywords, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
The next, washing dishes, that's the water, drain, sink, drain again, storm, social cleaner, drain cleaner. Alright, I think that's it. I think those are all of our keywords. But yeah, we already read this first sentence when we were skimming. The next day when I was washing dishes, I noticed that the water drained out of the sink much more slowly than usual. It drained so slowly that I went to the store and bought a bottle of special drain cleaner. So, does that answer our question?
Yes.
It does a little bit? So let's see if it does. What do you think is the answer? What could it be? So at this point, Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, we could start doing process of elimination, where process of elimination is where we eliminate possible answers. Yeah, so eliminate just means to get rid of. So here we've got answer A, the kitchen needed a more modern look. So far, have we read anything about the kitchen needing a modern look? No,
No.
right? So I think it's safe to say that's not going to be the answer. What about B? The dirt from the carrots blocked the drain, which led to other problems. Have we found any of
Probably like
these? Yeah, this one could be, right? Because we found dirt from carrots blocked the drain, and then we know other problems because we were skimming earlier, right? So this one could be an answer. What about C? Carrots can be very expensive.
no.
No,
That
right?
makes sense.
Exactly. We haven't found anything about the cost, about carrots specifically being expensive. Yeah? And then what about D? The carrots caused water to spill everywhere.
It's not because of carrots, it's because of the dirt.
Ah, very good. Exactly. Yeah, so it's not the carrots. It's not like she put carrots down the drain and that blocked it. No, it's the dirt from the carrots, right? So just there, look at that. We haven't actually found the specific answer, but based on what we've already been skimming and scanning, we can assume that this is the answer. Let's click and see. There you go. B is correct. Yeah, nice. So another thing I do want to point out really quickly, and because you actually pointed it out, and it's really good that you did that, Shanaida. When we have questions like this, sometimes what will happen, and sometimes what the people of whoever makes these questions, right, of these readings, what they do is they'll try to um,
Yes.
confuse us. Exactly, yeah. So then you think, oh yeah, well, yeah, of course, the carrot, she washed the carrots in the sink, and then because she washed the carrots in the sink, the dirt went down and, spilled all of that stuff. So then it's a logical connection, but it's not the connection, if that makes sense, right? So when answering questions like this, something like this is super important to notice. Is it really that the carrots cause the water to go everywhere? Or is it the dirt, right? So just trying to be really careful with that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Very good. Alrighty, let's do another question here. So question number 2 says, which of the following is not a reason why the carrots were washed in the sink and not in the bucket? Click on the button beside the best answer. So let's just go through the motions again. So what are going to be our keywords for this question?
Not a reason.
Yeah, not. And honestly, I'm going to make this one super obvious because not. A lot of people get this type of question wrong because they forget about the not, right? So, not a reason. Okay. What else?
Not a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The carrots were washed in the sink and not in the bucket.
Nice. Wash in the sink. In the sink. Not in the bucket. Very good. Yeah, exactly. Maybe why. That might be important too. Who knows? What about our keywords in the answers? So in letter A, the bucket of water fell over. What are our keywords?
Maybe the whole firm. The bucket fell over.
What about bucket of water and fell over?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Bucket of water fell over.
Yeah, very good. What about in B? Dinner needed to be made soon.
Dinner made soon.
Yeah, very good. Keywords. And letter C. The carrots were always washed in the kitchen sink.
Always watch kitchen sink.
Nice. And indeed, the carrots were dirty because they were fresh from the garden.
Were dirty, fresh from the garden.
Nice. Very good. Alrighty, so this question, honestly, even just looking for the keywords of the question, I feel like it's already pretty easy, and we can actually already do a little bit of process of elimination based on the skimming that we did and the scanning that we did for question number 1. So let's look at the actual questions now. The bucket of water fell over. Is that something that actually happened in the story based on what we've read?
Yes.
It is, right? So that could be a possible answer. What about B? Dinner needed to be made soon. Is that something that we read in the story already?
No.
I think we read it down here somewhere. I can't find it. We'll find it. I think I remember reading something about dinner soon, something like that. But that's okay. What about C? The carrots were always washed in the kitchen sink.
Yes.
This is something that is in the story, or is it true, or is it false?
Maybe true.
Oh,
Not true.
Shanaida! How is it true? Remember, what happened to the bucket outside?
Because maybe she knocked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so remember we talked about here. I clean here. Usually as soon as I have picked the carrots, I clean the dirt off them by rinsing them in a bucket of water. I keep the full bucket of water beside the garden just for this purpose. Yeah, remember this part? We read this because we found some keywords from the question number 1. So C, honestly, that's just straight up false. There's no like, oh, that's, yeah, she did wash them. Like that's not true. This word here, always, the carrots were never washed in the kitchen sink because of this information here. Do you see it? So just off the bat, without even looking for these keywords, I already know that C is false. Yeah? And then what about D? The carrots were dirty because they were fresh from the garden. That could be the answer, could not be the answer. What do you think?
Could not be the answer.
So remember what we read up here. This is the first sentence of the first body paragraph. She has her own vegetable garden and she likes to eat her own vegetables. So then she has to go and wash the carrots or the vegetables in that bucket of water outside, and then she brings it inside. Yeah? So if vegetables are fresh from the garden, yeah? So D could be the answer, right? Okay. All right, so this is just a little bit of an example of process of elimination. We started with 4 possible answers. Now we only have 3. Yeah, because C, I already know the carrots were never washed in the sink. And this I know because we did skimming, so we read the first sentence of the paragraphs, and then we did scanning for the question number 1, and that's where I'm starting to remember, oh no, this is kind of what happened, or I think this is what happened. Yeah. Okay, so the question wants us to find out what is not a reason why the carrots were washed in the sink and not in the bucket. Yeah? So, let's see what we find. Wait, where are my... Here. So, we're looking for bucket of water, right? Fell over, dinner made soon. We're dirty, fresh from the garden. Yeah, those are our keywords that we're looking for. So we're going to start on the first body paragraph here. Vegetables, doesn't care. Dirt? Was dirt one of them?
Yes.
I think so. Dirt, bucket of water. Bucket of water. Fell over the bucket. Water. I mentioned that. There's dinner here. Make dinner. And then
Very little time.
yeah, exactly. Very good. Very little time. carrots were part of dinner. Wash carrots, I think quickly, kitchen sink, large amount of dirt. Yep, there we go. Alrighty. So now let's remember the question wants to know what is not a reason, right? So that's something very important to remember because I was already forgetting that part. So what is not a reason? So the bucket of water fell over. Is that something that's true?
Yes, it fell over.
Yeah, right? There it is. Fell over the bucket.
Oh.
Yeah. So the question wants to know what's not a reason. So if the bucket fell over if the bucket of water fell over, could that be a reason?
No.
It could be, of course, because she tripped and fell over the bucket.
Ah.
Yeah, right? I know the yes and no, it's so complicated. I get it. But yeah, exactly. It could be a reason because she tripped and fell over the bucket. So then the water spilled out over the bucket and went all over her feet. Yeah? So that means that A is not going to be the answer because it could be a reason, right? And we need to find the not reason. So this one, I'll do like this, watch. So this one could be a reason, right? Now what about B? Dinner needed to be made soon. Down here.
But it's a very little time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very important that you actually caught this one. Very little time to make dinner, right? So if there's very little time, that means dinner needs to be made soon. Yeah. So when we're looking for these key words, we're not always going to find the exact word from the reading or from the question and the answers to the reading. Sometimes like this, very little time to make dinner means the same as dinner needs to be made soon. So when we're looking for the keywords from the question and the answers to the reading, it's important to find not only the exact words, but also maybe synonyms or maybe groups of words that could mean the same thing. Because synonyms sometimes the synonym isn't exactly the same meaning in the context, right? So as long as we find groups of words that have the same meaning as our keywords, then it makes sense still. So here, I had very little time to make dinner means the same. Dinner needed to be made soon. So is this a reason or is this not a reason why the carrots were washed in the sink?
A reason.
It is a reason, right? So I'm going to do a little check mark there. What about D? The carrots were dirty because they were fresh from the garden.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Very at the very bottom here. The carrots were covered in a large amount of dirt from the garden. That's literally exactly the same thing. Yeah? So now D, is that a reason or is that not a reason why the carrots were washed in the sink?
Is that a reason?
It is a reason, yeah? So exactly. So because the question wants us to know what is not a reason, what's going to be our answer?
C.
Yeah, exactly. Nicely done. Very good. Alrighty, so does this all kind of make sense to you? Is this, what is it? Is this confusing? Do you have any other questions? What do you think?
No?
You're good? Nice, very good. Alrighty, we're not gonna continue with all of them because I feel like you're understanding how this whole process works already. Yeah. But for those of you watching us on the live, go ahead and type in your questions, of course, if you have any. Shanaida, do you have any other questions, though? About skimming, about scanning, about finding keywords, anything?
Absolutely no.
Nice. Very good, very good. I love it. I love it. Nicely done. Yeah, so this isn't, reading comprehension, I think a lot of people might feel like it's difficult because of, I don't understand this word or I don't understand that word. But we don't really have to focus on the specific words. Now, if you want to improve and grow your vocabulary, then yeah, of course, right? That's part of the process. You read, if you find a word you don't know, you look it up, and then your vocabulary starts to grow. Um, but if you're just reading for comprehension and for understanding, then skimming, scanning, and finding keywords, I think, are the three best tips that I can give for understanding reading as well. Yeah. All right. Am I gonna see you at Monday's speaking practice again?
Yes.
Nice.
Of course. I am willing to try.
Nice, very good. I love it. Yeah, it was really nice having you this week, and hopefully, I mean, obviously, everyone watching us on the Facebook Live, you are all welcome as well. That's Monday, every Monday at 8 a.m. California time. So if you just go into Google or Naver or Bing or the internet and you just type in 8 a.m. California time to Myanmar, to India, to South Africa, to wherever your country is or to wherever you are, that will tell you what time it is in your country. But also, if you go into the event page on Facebook, it will give you the time in your country. I don't know. I had somebody once, he or she, I don't even remember who it was. They screenshotted the screen of the event, and at the very bottom, I was like, because they were asking me, what time is this event in my country? And I'm thinking, the time is right there at the bottom. That's your time. It's not my time. So yeah, if you just go into Google and you figure that out, that'll tell you, for anything. That's how you can find the time for, time differences around the world. If you have, I don't know, if you follow somebody else and they say, oh, it's at this time in this time zone, same thing. You take the time zone to, T-O, to, and then your time zone, your country, that's the time. Yeah? But yeah, so we do the free English speaking practice every Monday at 8 a.m. California time. But then we also have another event coming up. I hope everyone joins us. I'm super excited for it. We're going to play a game, and it's a speaking game. And so, other than the free English speaking practice, that one we normally just talk, right? It's just speaking. I bring a topic, or a student brings a topic sometimes, and we just try to have a conversation, right? We share our opinions. But with this one, we're going to actually play a game. This game is called Mafia. I first learned it when I was teaching English in Korea, and I learned it with my students out there. And then I came home to California. I started teaching here in California, and my students reminded me of this game. And so apparently there's an online, you can play it online as well. But I want to bring it to you guys. And so I know it as Mafia. I know there are other names for this. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also the one learning the Korean culture and like about Korean games.
Nice. So then you probably already know the game then. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
you
gonna
mean
play.
like a doctor, and a police.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the same game. Yeah. So there are civilians. There's a doctor. There's a police, and then there's murderers. So those are your characters. But yeah. So we're gonna play. In order to play though, we do have to pay. So this is not a set amount. I'm not telling you have to pay this much. Anything you can pay will get you into the game. So if it's $1, if it's 5 cents, anything you can cooperate, we are gonna play, and then you get a chance to play as well. Yeah, that event is already on the Facebook page, so you just find it. I think it's what's it called? I forgot the name of the event, but you can see it. It's pinned to the top of our Facebook page. So you can just click on that, and then you click find tickets, and it'll take you to PayPal, and that's how you can send your payment. But other than that, the link that everyone should be seeing on the Facebook Live is so that you can schedule your expectations call with me. So if you are interested in taking private classes, kind of like what I just did with Shanaida here, This is kind of what a private class is, right? We focus on whatever you need to focus on. If you say, oh, I need to, get better at writing, then my teachers and I, we bring writing work for you, and we help you. And it's a private class, just like Shanaida and I today. So if you click that link, it'll take you to my schedule. So you can go ahead and choose whatever day and time you are available, and then you will meet with me and we can talk and start planning how you want to have your private classes. Yeah, but other than that, I think we are all done today. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I think we're all good. We're all over social media. Follow us, like us, comments, share, all of that good stuff. Alrighty, so Shanaida, if there are no other questions, then we're all good. Yeah, alrighty. Well, Shanaida, I will see you on Monday at the free speaking practice. Yeah, very good. And then everyone else watching us on the Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching a recording of this, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. And I will see you all soon. Yeah? Alrighty. Thank you so much, Shanaida. I'll see you on Monday, okay? Alrighty, bye.
Have a nice day.
Oh, thank you so much. You too.